McPherson College, 4-5 in the conference a year ago, 5-6 overall, tied for 6th in the conference. New to the conference this year, Paul Mierkiewicz, graduate of Loris College, entering his first season as the head coach of the Bulldogs after spending the past 3 seasons as head coach at his alma mater, Loris College. Prior to Loris, Paul was head coach at Hastings College of the GPAC for 12 seasons, guiding the Broncos to a record of 65-41 and leading Hastings to 2 postseason playoff berths. Prior to being named head coach at Hastings, he served the Broncos as the offensive coordinator for 3 seasons. In his prior to the time at Hastings, he spent 5 seasons as offensive coordinator at Loris also. So, Paul Mierkiewicz, welcome to the conference.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I follow Kent, and those of you that are familiar with the success that Ottawa has had over the recent years. Towards the end of my tenure at Hastings, still sticks with me, Coach. We were up 20 plus in the fourth quarter and lost a playoff game. So as you can see, that still bothers me quite a bit, and it's ironic that I'm following you as we come up here. But thank you to everyone that's put this event on, and Scott for making me welcome and feel welcome. And I think we've had 2 meetings this week as coaches, and the camaraderie between these guys is outstanding. The assistant coaches and all the head coaches, and I really look forward to being a part of that. I know we'll compete and not like each other very much for 3 hours on a Saturday, but when the day's done, we'll shake hands and do everything we can to help each other out. And so I'm really looking forward to that. It's a great league and an honor to be a part of it. I want to thank our administration at MAC for giving me the opportunity and trusting me, giving me the keys to the football program, and allowing me to put together a roster that our administration, our alums, and the people in our community are going to be very proud of. I also want to thank Eric Cherry. He's our sports information director. You're my sports information director of the year partner. He's also my ride today, so I had to kind of throw that in. But when I got the job in December, it was right before Christmas. My wife and I were very excited, really had a fantastic Christmas. And then the day after Christmas, sat down and said, okay, how are we going to do this and how are we going to pull this off? We have 2 daughters that were in school. My wife was working at a school. And we decided that they would stay back 9.5 hours away, and I would go down and do the job that needed to get done. I thank my wife Heather so much, and my daughters. They have an unbelievable task as coaches' families, and my wife has an unbelievable task of dealing with me. But I thank her very much for helping us make this move. We got moved to MAC as a family middle June, and just really excited to start the season. Again, when we got officially on campus about middle January, the first thing we did was we took a look at our roster, and they went into the season in 14 with only about 75 guys on that roster, and due to some injuries and graduation and some different various things, when we had got there, we were just under 30 on our roster going into the spring. And we sat down as a coaching staff and said, where do we want to be? Now, where do we want to be today? Where do we want to be 4 and 5 years down the road? Our goal is to get to a roster of around 105. So if you do the simple math, you've got 30 guys returning, you need X amount of guys. And I think what we tried to do, instead of say that, was we need to bring the right guy in. We need to bring a young man that's going to come in and be there for 4 years, set the foundation for what we have coming up in the future. And I think if there's anything that I learned in the process that I just went through, changing a culture is not about changing rules. Changing a culture is coming up with a plan and selling it every day to your group and finding ways that within those changes they can be successful. And if they're successful, they buy in. If they buy in, everything keeps going. You know, it's one thing to talk about things, and we all have slogans and we all have things that we do, but if your players don't experience success in those changes and the sacrifices that you're asking them to make, your culture is not going to change. So it's not just about wins and losses. It's about every day getting better in what we're doing and knowing why and what the overall goal is. When we went through the recruiting process, our program, I believe, is evaluated 3 ways. You know, how our kids perform in the classroom, how they perform in the community, and how they perform on the field. And our job as coaches is to help them in every one of those areas. You know, we expect our guys to go to class. We expect our guys to do well. We expect them to treat their classwork just like they treat football. You know, I'm going to coach our quarterbacks. I won't have 8 quarterbacks in the room, but I will have 3 or 4. And they'll be trying to impress upon me that they're the best in the room. I can trust them and they're prepared. And we tell our guys, you go into your chemistry class with that in mind, you got a chance to be successful. You know, and so we're gonna push that and make sure that's the reason why a young man or young lady, regardless if they're a student athlete or not, attend college. We just hope that as a student athlete, they're a little bit more well-rounded, I think, in the things that they're going to deal with and are prepared for. I think the community is a huge part of the piece. One, we want interest from our people in the community, and we want them to be invested. But to be honest with you, I think we owe, as coaches and as players, to give something back. You know, if it's the littlest thing is walking into a school and reading to kids, or going to a park with your squad and cleaning things up, and just be a big part of the community so they're invested in you. And then on the field, I just think it's really the formula for success, at least that way, is really simple. You know, be prepared, play with class, play hard, but know the difference between when you're on the field and when you're off the field. You know, if I've got a football player that acts the same way on Saturday afternoon that he does in the cafeteria in the evening, we got a problem. And so it's just a matter of putting all those things together and talking, you know, to our guys and educating them on the things that we need to do. When I first got there, like I said, we sat down as a staff and I evaluated the staff. Outstanding staff in place. You know, one of the things that has been a tad bit of an issue, you know, is this head coaching position has had a little revolving door to that office. That revolving door is no longer there. And I've asked our players and our coaches to trust me that I'm in this for the long haul, and I think they understand that in terms of the things that we're trying to do. But those guys and you guys here as assistants and head coaches, we all know this. You know, our guys aren't making millions. So part of the reason why they're doing it is because they love football and can't get it out of their system. But really a bunch of guys that work extremely hard, and you know, you don't have to be a McPherson College grad to be a McPherson guy. And our guys get that, and our staff, and really do a wonderful job. So we're returning again. I can answer that question probably better in about 2 hours because we're checking in right now. But we're going to return right around 30, and we're bringing in roughly about 60 new players. A majority of those new players coming in are high school guys, but there is a good mix of some transfers that we think we can count on. You know, I think if we can stay healthy, just like anybody else up here, you know, if I had a crystal ball when we rank these teams, if somebody could tell me who's got the closest 22 that started the season, at the end of the season, I'll probably tell you that's your conference champ, because health in this league is because it is so competitive, you know, is the key. You know, I think with us, you know, when you're running into the program in the middle 80s, Obviously, depth is an issue in how you practice and how you do things. But I don't know that there's a ultimate number out there that you have to have on your roster. I think sometimes a limited number can allow you to pay attention to details and spend more time on the little things in the special teams, because maybe you're not trying to get so many guys as many reps as you possibly can and those types of things. There's things that you have to kind of tone back to. So we've looked at that as a staff and saying, how can we break things down where it's not so constantly physical and the wear and tear that maybe you would have if you had a program with 120 and you're running X amount of plays during a particular day. So those are the things that we're looking at. Those are the things that we're looking forward to. I think if we can stay healthy, I think we got a chance to surprise some folks. If you look in the bio that Eric put together on our program, we opened against Doane College, preseason number 23. If you look at their last season of the last game of the season, Doane College beat the number 1 team in the country, 49-48 in the last regular season game. If I understood correctly in their GPAC press conference, he's returning everybody. So we're going to have an interesting start on September 5th. But we're going to get after some folks, and we're going to play hard and make the people in our community and our alums very proud of the football program that we have. So, are there any questions? Thank you.